Okay, so this was supposed to be this was supposed to have started like at least 43 minutes ago, and I realized very quickly that nothing's gonna work out the way it was supposed to. Um, but honestly, I've been meaning to try out this. Like I've actually played the game. This is actually, I think this is like DLC, or maybe this is a sequel. I'm not entirely sure, but I just the first game I played, and I was just kind of like, because the game technically puts the player in the seat of an actual quote unquote IT guy. It's not an IT guy. Matter of fact, I think they have an actual title for him, like an operator or something, and he has to go through social media, connect the dots, and everything else. And I'm about to show it to you guys. I love this game like how Yahtzee loves Paper Please. Like, I honestly believe this is not a shoot 'em up game. This is not a game that, like, oh, you just pick up for 15 minutes and put down. This is an actual. It's like a book that is difficult to put down, in my opinion. I really do love this game, and this particular one I actually didn't play. Like, as you can see, I actually have a profile designed already. The profile one here, and I'm gonna make another profile for this stream only because it makes sense for me to do it like that. What actually took me forever in a week was actually trying to set everything up to, like, the sound, the audio. If you look in the lower right hand corner, is our new logo and the logo of the game. That took a little bit to find, and if not find, then create. But there was something I wanted to do real quick before I actually started the game, and I think that is to capture the cursor, and I have done so. So the game doesn't have any voiceovers. Everything's text based. I'm gonna try not to read your freaking ears off at all. And I think this obviously has the feel of indie game to it. And I don't want to use the same icon, and I wish I could just kind of like the pictures are better than what they were last time. Like, last time it was like picking out of 5. Now it's at least out of 10. Oh man. You know what? Here we go. Serious. That seems to work out best for me. And it's not like you see your character. Honestly, like, when you're playing this game, you're looking at a computer screen, and you, as the player inside the game, is also looking at the computer screen more or less the entire time. You know what? I already did this for my up. I forget if this is part of the game or not. Oh, it's optional. Like, I forgot if I did that last time, and if me doing it would actually it's sending me emails and all that stuff, and I don't want to do it twice because 9 times I probably unsubscribe because spam is a real thing. I am willing to severely affect the lives of citizens and non-citizens of the nation, which is the people, like, consider like this group of people that we are looking over. Kind of like the United States. In this game, it's called the nation, and the United States, Africa, United Kingdom. Put any real world name into that. That's what the nation is supposed to represent. I will do whatever is necessary to keep the nation from harm. That's gonna be something I do remember. Happens to be a clear choice. Even though I don't remember the exact choice, I remember going, "Oh man, I messed up." While working, I will heed only to the statutes and principles of the office, which is kind of like just saying the government. Of course, I'm like in everything that we've ever done online or otherwise, we simply click "I agree" to move forward. Thank you for ensuring the safety of the nation's people. Welcome, agent. Thank you for heeding the call of the office. See, I played the game previously, so the following investigators are unavailable for pairing. Please choose the corresponding profile of the person this will be paired with. I can choose? Oh, okay. From my previous, so I can play with. Oh, that's kind of. I actually didn't. I must not have seen that the last time I played. assigned case. So that's me from the previous game. And in the previous game, there was a bombing, and I had to go through people's emails, social media, text messages, voicemail, the whole shebang to find terrorists. But like it kind of like I've always been the kind of guy that kind of went, all right, well, do the ends justify the means? And sometimes to my realization, like in real life, sometimes like I'm just gonna accept the consequences that people are not gonna be happy that the ends justify the means. But there are other times I'm like, wow, this really has had a huger effect on other people. So in order to qualify for special duty within Orwell, taking the aptitude test is mandatory. Oh yeah, the test requires you to complete a set of tasks, follow on-screen instructions carefully, and answer truthfully to the best of your belief. Note that an insignificant test results will disqualify you for special duty permanently. So answer the question, not how you feel, but how you will feel the game wants you to answer so that you can continue. Because the last thing I want to do is go all the way back to the beginning. Which of the following statements are true to your attitude? Drag and drop at least one of the highlighted statements. Data chunks into the answer sheets to the left screen. Note that your choices are permanent. Where's the question? Following statements are true to you. I want to be a pioneer in the most advanced. I want to make the nation a safer place. Obviously, I like spying on people. They might actually. Do I want to choose one? At least one of the following. Okay, so I can't do more than one. Dragon at least one, so I can put more than one. But it's saying here that it would take over. I want to be a pioneer. No, it won't take over. And it says I can't undo it, so those two seem to be the best answer. Not only like the second one's more me, but the first one is obviously. Oh, you're not gonna. Okay, I want the nation to say for not that I don't think it matters. Like I don't know how games like sometimes you make choices in games but that's not gonna matter and realize that like doomed everybody. I'm like, oh god. Which of the following persons do you consider likely to having committed a crime? Oh, this is where racial profiling becomes a thing. Oh man. Alright, so I am going to be racially profiling, so I apologize tremendously. I don't believe the African American and Indian woman would be most likely considered to commit a crime because they, well, first of all, the Indian woman happens to be in a culture where she really can't do much. Like their oppression over there is pretty tremendous. Granted, I'm not looking at it from. I should be looking at it from the nation, but I don't know the nation, so I'm pulling information from my own personal experience. The African American woman is kind of the same thing. She might be willing to like do things to get ahead, but she also knows that eventually things catch up to you. So why risk it, kind of thing. So, and then there's the girl / guy on the far right. I only say guy because it looks like she has a 5 o'clock shadow with lipstick and a pretty defining chin. And weight, like, it just happens to have all the attributes of both male and female there. And that's like an Asian guy. But males, to me, are more likely to commit crime because they're more determined to ends justify the means kind of maneuver. So, because the last person that happens, I don't know whether that's a male or female. He happens to be that guy. Boom. And I say the ends justify the means in the sense that if he looks, he has a suit on, he's successful. Sometimes being successful, you guys do some dirty things. That's all I'm saying. Which of the following statements do you consider to be true, if any? An unjust law can and should be violated. Alright, they don't want to hear me say that. There's no such thing as a justified lie. There are two sides to every story. A government should safeguard. Absolute truth exists. I don't think absolute truth exists because obviously, well, I think truth to a certain degree exists. When something happens, something happened. Why the happening happens to always be kind of like distorted and like abstract. So, the government should safeguard the citizen by any means Okay, so that's the dangerous one, because that's what they want me to say. So I'm gonna be doing this, and then I'm also gonna hold on. I'm also gonna be doing there's 2 sides to every story, because I know that to be always the case. So let's flip. Given the choice, would you prefer to have your medical records or your dating profile investigated? Shoot. I'd rather have my medical records investigated. I would rather have my dating profile. Like, honestly, if I had a dating profile, that thing's public. So, like, I'm already kind of willing to have that be scrutinized by other people, where my medical records are more or less sealed. But I'm very open about my own medical condition for the most part. Would you prefer to have your medical records or investigate? And that's the thing, investigated. My medical records is kind of like concrete, you know. So and I don't know how the game's gonna use this to, like, I don't know, against me in the future. Now, conflicting update. I would rather have my dating profile investigated. There is a conflict with another data chunk in the document, which is that. Shoot. But see, medical things are more, like, dating profile is more personal. So do you want somebody who's looking to incriminate you or anything like that? Geez, this is actually a pretty, you know what? So I'm gonna say that I don't know who's watching these videos. It could be anybody from my personal friends to complete strangers. They're like, oh, he likes his personal date, like, you know, or right at my personal. And this is one of the reasons why I do actually enjoy this game. It actually. Are you letting me? Okay, no, we're not doing that. We're doing this. You're not okay, I'm about to say, you better let me do this. You know what? No. I'm thinking on it really hard. I think I'd rather have my medical, because that's just me right now. That's just me right now. Whew. Wow, these are really hard. Which information from your medical give to an investigator willingly? Pictures and information from a full body scan, past medical conditions and history, active prescription, current fitness parameters, size and weight. And I guess current fitness parameters. Prescription's kind of personal. Past medical condition and history, pictures and information on full body scan. You know what? I've done enough. Confronted with the situation below, which action would you take? Your best friend boasts about having been accepted to Orwell. Since you are working for Orwell yourself, you know that talking about your job is punishable for imprisonment. What? Alright, it's been a long time since I played this game, obviously, because I do not remember most of these questions. Without saying anything to my friend, I informed the national authorities at the next possible. I warned my friend that I'm working for Orwell too, and I will have to inform the authorities of his if this continues. But hear my friend talking about such might not be. I know. Alright, what they want me to say is obviously that I would inform the national authorities about what's going on. I know what in real life I'd hit on my friend talking about such delicate jobs might not be advisable. Which means I would say, yeah, and those obviously conflict everything else, so. See, I think the second one is actually trying to say, okay, is he willing to warn the person? And I'm like, oh, I need to buy time. Like, I really don't know what I am going to get myself into. Insignificant. You feel what? What? The office has rejected you as an agent for special duty. Do your answer in the aptitude, but if you ask for it, the test shall be reset and you'll be given another chance. I don't know if this is a trick. I really do not. And I do not know how I answered it. It had to be the last one. It had to be the last one.
Hello, O'Brien. Is that you?
I have to disappoint you.
Bart? Laban Bart? How? After all this time? I didn't think you...
Remember what you did? Again, I must disappoint you. I've not been blessed with a short memory.
Bart, Laban, listen. It wasn't me. I don't know anything about what happened there. That's the truth.
Truth. See, I never had much regard for the Bible, but there's one remarkable, groundbreaking moment. Before being sentenced to death, Jesus goes on and on about being a witness for the truth. But Pilate defies him with the simplest of all questions. What is truth? It is this particular question I've been pondering over for a very long time now. How much of the information ending up on our screens every single day has passed through so many other minds before, each one with their own bias and agenda. It is all cut down to size, proportioned, ready to be consumed. And yet we greedily swallow it all in blissful ignorance, because our hunger is unending.
Stop the nonsense and get to the point. What do you want?
To ask you a question. What is truth?
I don't understand.
Now you're the disappointing one. You of all people should, Oleg Bakay. There is only one thing about truth that is certain. Truth is dead. As you soon will be.
What? Why? You? How did you manage? How? Bart! Bart!
It really has been a long time. I shouldn't have stopped playing this game. Wow. Okay. Communication between two individuals. In this world reference, Russian, I guess. And one obviously is talking about killing the other. Ooh. And the loading screen I don't remember being this long, that is. And with the loading screen I should probably see... Oh, there it is. Thesis. So you think you can redo the after the just like that? That's either downright naive or... Look, I was just trying to please you. And who are you? Ampleford? I try to make sure that my camera actually is not blocking anything of actual importance. You're willing to shift the truth to your liking. You might be exactly whom I need. Yeah, because that's comforting for me to feel comfortable about. Sorry, I'm also checking the feed to make sure that you guys are actually... Yeah, I know, kind of late, but like I definitely want to make sure that you guys are able to watch this virtual without problem. My name is Ampleford. I am part of a special division within the government, the office. We get called in for the delicate matters. A man called Oleg Bakay, and hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, disappeared a couple days ago. The last we heard of him was the call I just played to you. I have added a transcript of the dialogue to your reader tool. You can read it again or listen to the recording. When you're done, open the unknown person profile to your left. I don't need to listen to it again. And luckily the transcript is actually here. Regular propaganda stuff. Since you are paired with an investigator, I assume you're familiar with the procedures and spare you most technicalities. Yay. For starters, upload a log. And I'm just going to call him OB because I worry about butchering his name. Upload OB's name from the transcript to his file by dragging it to the... Or just his name, dragging it. Okay, where is... There we go. So what you do in this game, you find information within information to compile your own database. Luckily with my brother Simon, I am decently, experienced in such things. It's prime for OB. Now other data chunks related to this person may appear. Check the transcript for newly found data chunks. Truth is dead, as you soon will be, which is the actual threat, which is the actual concern, I'm guessing? That's an odd thing to say, isn't it? We're taking that as a death threat, as did the National Beholder. I think that's all that was found here. I think this little icon means there's more to be found elsewhere. Is anti-Cassart blog involved in Pergistan soldier disappearance? There we go. I am gonna butcher these names and titles. The National Beholder is the most respectable news site in the nation. You may browse their headlines freely to get information. The recording of the call you heard ended up in their newsroom. Why? That's a piece of the puzzle we're missing right now. So, that was leaked, is what she's saying. However, this article is a good starting point for an investigation in OB. To proceed, please adapt this picture in profession. This being his picture. Pergesian? Par. He's a Par Army officer. That's how I'm going to pronounce it from now on. Not exactly the most tender smile, but that's not what we're here for after all. Wait, so, alright, so OB is the guy we were listening to in the phone call. The guy who received the phone call. The person who called him was Wart. I'm once again butchering pronunciations. And this guy, the guy who got the phone call, is actually missing. So our job, I'm guessing, is to find him. Or find his body. As you see, OB is an important figure in the Parges Army. There we go. Our neighboring country. We are very concerned about his fate. I'm sure you don't sound it. And she looks like someone famous. Not like copy, just like the eyes. The eyes happen to just chat. Like, ooh, lowering eyes. Okay, so what do we got here? A phone conversation between a Par Army officer, OB, and Raven. That's the name we're gonna do. So how do they know who else was involved with the phone call? Because I don't think we did. That's our RV. Raven? We're just gonna call him Raven. That's the name that Oleg mentioned during the phone call. Let's focus on Oleg for the moment. We will be back on Raven. I had to remember his name in a second. So I guess if you see here, like, time does progress. I'm guessing each 20 minutes for each piece of information I find, depending on the information, maybe. What happened if I click on it? Nothing. Okay. So what else? And since it's a neighboring country, we get databases because databases is public record. Amazingly, like seriously, amazingly. Captain. Call sign Janice, 1st Infantry Division Parva. So first thing I noticed was that he's a captain. So let's add that. Call sign Janice. It's going to be important in the future, I'm sure. Agent, you may have noticed by now that for every data chunk you upload, 10 minutes. Okay, I thought 20, but 10 minutes of time passed due to the extensive search algorithms. The events around us will unfold whether or not we are making progress in our case. Keep this in mind. So, if I keep throwing in data chunks, and let's say I have an hour to do that, I potentially can throw in 6 data chunks. But if there's 12 pieces of information, I have to pick and choose. Janice. Captain Janice. Not Captain Janice, but Captain, Janice. Served today. I can't assume today is actually 2019. I have to assume today was whenever this game got released, or whenever actually, no, wait. There's 2017. There we go. So technically he's been in service for 11 years. Janice, how fitting. He still goes by this call sign. How do you know? I'm granting you access to our database, which you should have a look at. You'll understand it better after you see the files. And as far as I know, I don't have a time limit quite yet, so 1st Infantry Division. Why isn't the fact that he's a field officer important? Medal of Honor he apparently got. Obviously, also not important. Oh, wow. For saving civilians. So the Medal of Honor was important. So, assigned for protection from the ongoing threat through anti-government group Forces of True Pargs during Civil War, the Parga Civil War. He saved civilians because he was assigned to their protection from the ongoing threat through the anti-government group, the FTP, during the Civil War. A bloody mess, that Civil War. Pargs has suffered a great deal from it, so did the nation. He was wounded, it says here. And this is mental things I'm keeping in my own head. Returned, reinstated as captain by privileged command. I don't even know what that means. First Law Enforcement Battalion of the Army of the Nation, training local forces. Alright, what else you got for me? How about this history? It doesn't mean anything. Okay, it's an actual website with actual pieces of information and yada yada yada. So unless I have a reason to look further, it's not going to show me anything further to look into. The new information came up? See, I thought I'm missing something, aren't I? Well, how the girl, my boss, Ampleford, told me to. If I'm saying her name right, somebody search the database. Let me check that out. While yes, we are in fact worried about our relations with Pargs because of Bakay? Oleg, you will see that the whole truth is more complex. As you're not a simple investigator, you have access to an Orwell build designed to meet the specific needs of the office. We can utilize the data stored in the profiler in the left to circumvent certain restrictions that will otherwise bar us from making progress. Make good use of this ability within our database and the data stored in the profile so far to solve my little mystery. Oh, your little mystery. That's nice. It's your little mystery here that we're solving. Alright. Call sign, we obviously know that is not here. Hold on. Threatened with death? Yeah, we've seen that. There we go. Janice. Okay. Oh, look at this. That's a nicer picture. You did it. Well done. I'll leave you to your well-deserved info for a moment to truly understand why this case is so... Jeez. I really should have camera centered on me, I guess. As my stand wobbles back and forth. Alright, so this guy, obviously, new picture. His name we already got. His call sign we already have. A lot has changed over the 11 years. I'm assuming you guys can read it, so sorry. I probably should read more often. Alright, so we have his birthday, which makes him approximately... what, 40? 42? His address, his department, redacted. Confidential informant as officer. Wow, really? But this is their phone number in this game, so this will give us access to the phone number, so that's more important to me. And that looks like it's going to be useful later on. So I don't even have to read the entire thing, just the things that the Orwell algorithm points out to be important. Of course we did inspect and observe the habit of our agent. What did you expect? Honestly, that's something Simon would do too. So we have his personal phone number. You know his passwords have to be close, people he's close to. Is using one of our registered phone devices to communicate with us. It seems to be online right now. You can access it using the Insider tool, which I will unlock for you now. I'll check that out in a second. The fact that he was an informant, it might be important. Please, inside the army for years, now vanished into thin air. You surely grasp the dangers this possesses should it ever come out. He was a spy for the nation against his own country? And they're worried that they found out. Okay. I can virtually hear Simon go, and the horse finally crosses the finish line. Okay. You will need to understand what happened and then possibly retrieve him or contain the damage. To get to the bottom of this, we will have to investigate the person who called him last. Raven. We've already found a trace to him before on the Beholder. I will turn Raven into a target person now. Time to pick up from there. The reason this is going to be important because he spied for against his own people. Many people would consider him a traitor for that, for just that alone. But let me check your phone real quick. Of course. He has locked his phone with our own encryption tool. I'm afraid not even Orwell can break it. Yeah, the all-seeing Big Brother computer cannot break into someone's basic phone. You may have to dig a little deeper to uncover it, so it might be advisable to check other resources first. I don't know anybody else that he's close to. Maybe Raven? Okay, and that's all I know. Alright, so that's the insider. Reader. Any other pieces of information. This is not a government search no, but this is an agent database. So unless Raven is actually an agent who doesn't have a call sign. Alright. Alright, fine. What else do we got? What else do we have? Actually, we're here. Last point of contact before disappearance. So let's start from the beginning. Actually, no. The National Beholder, she mentioned something about them having some information about this guy. Is known as the editor-in-chief and founder of the highly controversial blog The People's Voice. That gives us a direction to go on. The People's Voice, we have heard of them. This preposterous news site has people rallying for protests in Pargies for years. I'm gonna hate that word because I cannot. Hold on. I can't ask Cortana how you spell that because that's not something that I can just type in. Judging by that call, Raven and Oleg seem very acquainted, even if it isn't the most friendly relationship apparently. Your task here is twofold, Agent. First and foremost, we are to locate Oleg. Then, in order to understand whether Raven is behind Oleg's disappearance, we need to find what connects the two in the first place. How much lunchtime? I don't know if that means anything at all. Alright, well, let's see what else other information we can gather here. Claiming he's dead soon in the line of his disappearance. The fact that the recording was leaked by an anonymous source has been... Anonymous source. Why? I bet you this ample Ford woman is responsible for this in some way, shape, or form. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure how I can even prove it, but this is what I need. A people's voice here. One more thing before I let you roam freely. Remember that we are bound to the division of power defined by the ethical codex. I don't remember what that is. I vaguely remember that was part of the last game. That the machine that the Orwell, I was just trying to find something to drink. The Orwell should have an ethical protocol to it. Something that goes, okay, this is too far. You shouldn't be doing this. Stop. You're now leaving charted territory as far as I'm concerned, and I have to rely on the data you upload to make my calls. Without anything you read, without anything you read, especially when it comes to the people's voice. Don't give me wrong info to work with. I'm counting on you. Alright, well, let's see what we got here. These people are murdered because of Blaine's incompetence. But guess who'll be blamed? President Puppet sought re-election plans. As much as everything else is important right now, I want to figure out who this Raven guy is. So let's see what we got. But now we actually have a picture, now that I think about it. And a title editor-in-chief, which we already have. We're an independent collective devoted to providing you with the facts that mainstream media outlets try to hide. The Voice is supported by the Angels of the Nation Network, a volunteer team who provide development assistance in that I'm gonna miss out. I'm gonna skip out on, but email address is always important. So click first, and then click and drag. Very good. This will allow you to observe his work email accounts through the listener tool. Once Raven receives an email or sends one through that account, you'll be notified and be able to read it. So I can't check out old things that he's done. At least I don't think so. Okay, that's actually the home page. This is the home page here. We don't have your nationality though. My communications. How about this? 3. Alright, so since he hasn't done anything, I can't access his email. And I'm trying not to piss her off, because I'm pretty sure this will probably piss her off, because it doesn't have any real connection to him, just the group. So let's see what this is. And this was written by him, so this works out well. 3 people are murdered because of Blaine's incompetence, but guess who's to blame? Who will be blamed? There we go. Doesn't surprise me. Blood runs the streets, so I want to read it so I have an understanding. As it sees itself confronted with the next big act of terror right in its heart, the capital, Bonton. 3 people have been brutally massacred right under the government's ever so watchful eye, and much of the surprise of all media outlets. For actual news, I'm gonna have to go to the actual things. I realize this is like an opinion blog. You all know it, even though no one dares to speak it. The nation is corrupt. Corrupt leadership, and all of their deluded flock who elected them carry the weight of the Freedom Plaza bombing victims upon their shoulders. I think the Freedom... No. I'm gonna have to read that. Yeah, I'm gonna read it now. Bombing obliterates Freedom Memorial and kills 3. Let's read this article. Detonations destroyed a Freedom Memorial in Bonton. 3 people killed, 5 severely injured. Terrorists' ambitions suspected as a mysterious letter reaches authorities. Approximately 3 hours ago. Actually, I don't know today's even Wednesday. And I don't think it tells me. Three things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Wow, I like that one. But nothing here about what day of the week it is. Just that. And technically I could probably just go through a calendar and look through it. I guess it's not really important. 2 people were killed, at least 5 surrounding were severely wounded. The memorial was completely destroyed. Closed up the area immediately. Act of terror. Explosive device was homemade. Triggered from a short distance away. Cell phone signal. First 3 stanzas of the German folk song. See, it says German. So that kind of means that this game setting is in this world. So there's that. And I'm not going to read the German because I can barely read the other stuff. But the thoughts are free, which reaches local authorities. And Prime Minister blamed Prime Minister something that is more used overseas than not. Immediately issues a public press statement from condemning the attacks and putting the nation on high alert until the perpetrators have been brought to justice. There was a bombing that killed 3 people, injured 5 more. Destroyed a memorial. The stanza from this German folk song. The thoughts are free. I'm glad I can't click on these things, because that'd be just whoo dangerous. There's something I'm missing here. There is something I'm missing here. This brings me back here. And no matter where I click, it just sends me back here. And this is the history. Nothing of any use right now. But apparently I went through it all. Okay, so then I just have to go through it all. Negotiations in Tri-Filth, which is an interesting title. Movie shooting complete, 100 Grey Shadows, which is a play on 50 Shades of Grey. I almost called it 100 Shades of Grey. Yeah, play on 50 Shades of Grey. So, just so I read it. And I'm guessing aborts negotiations with oppositions, violent riots in Tri-Filth, encourages renewal. So the park's president declined negotiations. Incendiary materials into shop windows, because riots always solve problems. Sometimes people. Alright, so that's all looked through. Alright, apparently time has to pass. In order for time to pass, for all we know, it's being controlled by the nation's shadow administration. Stand up and march the streets. There! That's important. This was made 2 days ago, so the march was yesterday? See, that's actually useful information. There's a be riots, and there were riots. How did this man gain such an immense influence over his followers? Something just happened. Where does it say let there be riots? I'm looking for that. This is a call to arms. Okay, fine. That works out. Raven. Something surfaced. From Raven to unknown person. Thank you for your ongoing support and your kind words as always. You have proven yourself to be a true supporter of our cause. You will want to watch the news. I have no doubt there will be a greater stir very soon. That is insinuating that something's going to happen very, very soon. For all we know, this guy's been trying to cook up a large-scale stir for years. I don't see this happening quite yet. Yes, he has succeeded to some extent with the ongoing riots, but we can keep the situation under control. You're underestimating him here. Now, it says unknown person, but we know the person is David. Why that isn't something that we can connect to, I don't know. And we know that David is a true supporter of the cause. The cause for the Portuguese people, I'm guessing. To be a Jew. Maybe that'll open something else? That was... Yeah, I know. Lesson learned. So I found my first non-target person, being David. Okay. I must authorize him to become a target person first. I will only do so if I feel necessary. Checks and balances. I understand it. I do. Crime rate continues to drop. With her, she won't. All right. So if I'm trying to say is that it's good that there's a check and balances. I don't trust her. She shouldn't trust me. She's a check and balance. I found the information. She says whether it's relevant or not. I don't know. That's not important information. And the David thing, good. So it does catch that. And supports Raven, okay. What else we got here? Ooh. What do you mean when you say Orwell would not be missed? Did you retire him? I'm not happy either that Orwell has gone missing. The soldier is not one to be blamed here. What happened first? This seems like a reply to that. This is a reply to this. I'm not happy either that Orwell has gone missing, but it looks like that's a conflict with something else. It is. Will certainly not be missed, and that's what she's referring to. We know this guy threatened Oleg. We know that. So the statement that he will certainly not be missed is more accurate than I'm not happy either that Oleg has gone missing. So that doesn't answer whether he's responsible for what. He's not going to say it outright, or else you guys want to call us in here. Us as in the person who I was paired with, being the other version of me. Yeah. Time travel. Ridiculous propaganda. Mainstream media have been manipulating your thoughts since the dawn of humanity. Time to get rid of this enemy. Time to get rid of this enemy. And he puts a picture of Oleg. So that just makes it more likely that he is the person responsible. The national liar. It might not. She's gonna be pissed. She's gonna be pissed. She's gonna be like, it's not relevant. No, that's a classic one. Oh, demonizing the free press, straight from the Dictator's Guide to Supreme Rule. And we read this article. It doesn't talk about him at all, or his actual service. Just the fact that, you know. Okay, yeah, the button doesn't do that then. Okay, the People's Voice. What have you done, Ruben? Why? Oh man, I messed up somehow. It sounds like they're accusing us of having kidnapped or killed this man. What have you done to OB? Tell the truth. Let's not jump to the conclusions. I am sure that Ruben can offer an explanation. I'm starting to doubt whether the People's Voice represents what I stand for. We sell ourselves as a blog for the Pergasian people, defending their rights and protecting their freedoms. As part of that is our duty to criticize the government and the military as a prime target. However, I never signed up to be labeled as a criminal. We don't threaten people. We don't kidnap people. And we certainly do not kill people. Calm down. Since when do we believe what the National Beholder prints? They're only trying to frame us. I have nothing to do with Bakay's disappearance. Did I call him? Sure. Did I get a little aggressive? I did. Oh! And that's public knowledge. The recording is not just something that we heard. It's something that was released to the public. So everybody heard that. So everybody heard you. Before we left, had his mind set on joining the army. He asked me to take care of his 14-year-old daughter, and I said yes. Now that's important. I wonder if it matters. It matters, I think, to him more often. So I hope he's not gonna just do one or the other. I hope it does both. I see the two know each other back when they lived in Bergese. Well done, Agent. Well, thank you. I do try to do amazing things when I can and how I can. With the basic connection between the two clarified in our in-depth research of the lead up to this phone call can now begin. Okay. I need you to investigate and upload anything that you think is relevant and accurate about the background of these two. Discard anything else. From what you gather, I'll put together a theory about what happened and what we're going to do about it. At the very least, we need a solid motivation for Raven making this threat to Oleg and an explanation as to how Raven could contact him on his private phone. That's true. It's a private phone from the nation. The only people who should have the number is the nation. So the question is how, if Raven is the one that contacted him, how? If you need to keep track of your objective, click on the Orwell eye in the upper left hand corner of the screen. This bad boy up here. Lunchtime. So Raven was taking care of his 14-year-old daughter. Oleg's 14-year-old daughter. I learned that he left for the nation. He said he wanted to find work there. Then all of a sudden he returned and ranks up to an officer in the army. I am fairly certain he works for the nation's government in some way. However, I had nothing to do with his disappearance. What does that conflict? Or do I have not found that yet? I haven't found it yet. Okay. I was unaware of all this. I believe you, but I really think you should watch what you say. They're starting to get way too... This is starting to get way too tense. This is getting people worked up on both countries. I'm a Sharon on this. I also believe you, Raven, but you should really choose your words more wisely. We always wanted to criticize. One could even say fight against the Cassart administration and their shady ties to Blaine. But we don't want them to regard us as national enemies. And this fight should remain one of words. You guys are disappointing me. I thought you had it in you. Don't let them intimidate you like that. These are just empty threats. We have to stand our ground now more than ever. We're not saying we're disagreeing with you, Raven. We're just saying watch what you say. So what? Alright, let's assume Raven is actually the criminal. And I know the whole guilty innocent to proven guilty should be a thing. Right now, here's our main suspect in the disappearance of Oleg. That being said, we have to assume that most of the things he says is not true. I did call him, sure. Yeah, I was aggressive, I did. Users. Creator, yeah. Lead editor, Shannon. Dan. Alright, these are people that were all part of the logs there. Drafts? No. Drafts? Logs. I can't see any of that stuff. Okay. Users? Can I click back to anything? No, I can't. I need to do it the hard way. Blabber? Parwa City and the National Beholder. Crime rate drops. The Ministry of Security. Crime rate have been continuously declined over the past several years as a direct result of the implementation of the safety bill. Safety-centered laws and statutes created with the ultimate goal to protect the freedom of the nation's citizens. Speed up processes of taking investigative measures against criminal suspects and the prosecutions, as well as the provision of an increased budget for safety-related expenses. Pave the way for stricter regulations concerning immigration and general travel into or transiting. No, I'm saying it wrong, and I apologize. Through the nation, and that shockingly, even though this is 2007, we still had our president now then, so this might be a tie-in, maybe? Game creators can do that. General travel. It also became mandatory to inform employers whether an applicant or employee is an ex-convict, otherwise regard potential danger. The total number of acts. And see, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, so is this bill created by the government and the results are given to us by the government? Looks like the party is elected in government, and things were already starting to decline. Just got faster. Okay. People. That's the Prime Minister, the Robert Blaine. Gallagher. As I'm super reading, that reminds me of the guy from Marvel, Thunderbolt, the guy in the Hulk, and who ends up being the secretary of Shield in the Avengers, Infinity War. No wait, yeah, Infinity War. Yeah, is that just Infinity War? Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. Just quickly skimming through, seeing if there's anything worth reading. Or if I need to go back to something, I can actually like think, oh yeah, that's where that is. So let's give me another 10 more minutes, guys. What are you planning to do against the FTP? FTP. Are thinking about leaving. Okay, these are people who are trying to leave the area. And I'm mad I don't remember what the FTP stands for. The mayor's trying to calm people down. It's like, hey, people are dying. It's not exactly the keep calm. Here we go. I sincerely understand your concern, Mrs. Tuskula. This was about 10 years ago. As a school's principal, he was a principal. I will therefore consider our options on how to protect the school and Pava Secondary in particular. So, alright, let me move this first then. I don't believe you. Everyone here keeps talking about how we're supposed to change things. And oh, wrong person. Oh, yeah, sorry. I was so busy reading. Didn't even. There we go. Tomas guy does not give a shit apparently. Well, that might explain his preachy attitude. Alright, that was kind of a bitchy comment there, boss. Just letting you know. I'm just saying that out loud. Olog. Leave Purgus? And this is how you abandon not only your hometown, but your own home country? This is the same guy, almost a decade later, who joined the nation. And go where the nation? That's People's Central Land, never. And that's the conflict of interest. Doesn't think highly of the nation and never wants to go there, but which is different from I learned that he left for the nation and he said he wanted to work there. So he hated the nation and ended up working for the nation. So the question is, what is actually true? Because I did mention earlier that the idea that we cannot trust anything that Raven actually has said. We haven't found any information about this so-called daughter. He disliked the place, but he loved. So what's more important? The fact that he hated it, that was in the past about more than a decade ago, or the fact that, I think the other piece of information is actually more important. That he had left for the nation and said he wanted to find work there. That's the important thing. Might account for his loyalty towards us, but we don't know anybody's loyalty yet, even in his potential missing status. Believe me, you would be better off dying as a loyal citizen of Pargs than as an inferior renegade, which is what he became a decade later. In fact, I have devised my own way how to protect Parva and show that I am a true patriot. I'm going to volunteer for the army and fight to free this country from the plague known as the FTP. Seriously, Oleg? You have a daughter. Not a communication of the daughter. She's only 11 years old. Sorry, my brain's trying to work. So she is 11 at 2003. So she's 11 in 2003. Where is it? 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 Is it this one? No, it's not this one. Where did I find that piece of information? It was like the chat room group or whatever. These are all articles. Okay, so maybe here we go. I'm in members discussion want to be done. There we go. Took care of his 14-year-old daughter. So 3 years after that would have been 2009 when he left. So within 3 years, he changed his mind. In 3 years, he changed his mind. In 3 years, maybe he worked for the military, for the Pargis. Please don't make any hasty decisions right now. If I may dare to say, I don't think the FTP is fighting for the right causes. The right causes. Alright, boss, tell me what you think. That's not what I was thinking. Maybe with the wrong methods. After all, I don't believe Kesarts will be doing us any good considering how he rose to power. Mind you, Kesart's ties to the nation are more than fishy. Kesart. Mind you, Raven, please don't tell me you are a terrorist sympathizer now. As for my daughter, there we go. Name. Let's see what we got here. Come on. May have been on one of her biggest role models for years now. You know her well and she loves your classes. May I boldly ask you to take care of her while I am gone? She's older now. She's an adult now. She should be. Damn near, anyway. I am not a terrorist sympathizer, Oleg. I'm certainly not on their side. I'm saying that you should try thinking a bit more critically towards this government of ours. Regarding your daughter, I do not approve of you leaving her like that. I am also not a army sympathizer, by the way. If you truly wish to choose this path of journey, I will not let you and her down. Thank you. Interesting. Interesting. Alright. Where to next, though? Where to next? The residence? Anything here? Nothing related to the case, and that's all she wants me to look into. So, people's voice. What the hell? So you start threatening soldiers now? This is going too far. Tell us the truth about what happened to Oleg. This is news things that have happened. Okay. People are not liking what he potentially might have done. No, that's really important. Not really. There we go. I finished revising the article you sent me and scheduled it for 3 p.m. which is about 2 hours and 10 minutes. Like you asked, don't know if I'll be available for another one. I'm going to be a bit occupied tonight. Maybe I can spare some time remotely if I get a chance. One more thing. This Oleg thing is getting ugly. Lots of TNB believers are flooding us with threats on Blabber. Do you read any of that? Creeping me out. You know, I'd go to any lengths with you, just like when we moved to the nation. You're my brother. Now, that's not good information. I don't know what is. So, this information should be pertaining to David. David's last name should be Vihart. And they moved to the nation together. Wait, what now? Okay, so unknown person, it doesn't mean the same person, it's a different person, okay. So that is his brother down there. Ilya. Once again, possibly butchering names, and I apologize tremendously. Can change that, it's even fine if you're not telling me the whole story. What about Karen? Karen? They even insult her? She doesn't deserve to be treated that way. Do you think it's about time you gave out a statement? You can easily debunk these lies. Who's Karen? And we're not going to touch on that. We're not going to touch on Karen at all. Okay. Alright. Karen, wife, daughter, mom, transgender, other brother? I don't know. Let's see what we got here. See, all this stuff is not important. Not really. Latest principal determined to keep school service going. Terrorist group was the FTP. I just don't remember what it stands for. And it's getting closer to the school. The school administration has requested protection by the army. Despite the situation remaining tense in our beloved city and community. Army protection for our schools? Wait a minute. Protection from the army. Parva. Things must have been bad, so I must have been really worried. Think. So... No, I don't even have to go back. I only have to go back. I can go to you. You served in the army, right? Alright, it says that he received a Medal of Honor for saving civilians. It doesn't tell me where. And I almost would bet it is related to... time relation. So technically... 2010. So if I... wounded in combat, officially absent from service. But he was assigned in 2006. Nope, doesn't count. Okay. Just riding on a hunch. I just happen to be wrong. That's fine. I need to make a choice about this. That's not what I was looking at, though. This. Real quick. My situation remains intense in our beloved community. Keep the lessons going. The school administration has now decided to provide a protective hideout from combat activities by upgrading our library to a completely autonomous shelter situated in the basement of the school. He allowed for the installment of the bomb shelter, or combat shelter, depending on how you want to say it. Seems a bit overprotective if you ask me, but then again, it was the Medal of a War lady. Boss, sorry. Considering he thought about getting the army for protection, this pales in comparison. Only a couple months difference, though. School not offering daycare, so it was safer for a while. Okay, so I'm reading it backwards. June was a shelter, and November when he consulted people that, okay, it's still safe. Nothing else here. Alright. Wait. Maybe. Here's our faculty. Thank you. And he taught English and philosophy, which actually makes a lot of sense from the way he talks. Main subject is English and philosophy, but he teaches other subjects as well, such as history. And I don't think anybody else is really that important, but just keeping it up here. Just keeping it up there. A date, right? A date. So a date would be... Come on, give me something. I can't enter in dates. I can't enter in that date because that date doesn't mean anything. The daughter might... The date of... And we don't even know this guy's birthday. We don't know any of his information whatsoever. Attendance date. Why would that be important? Alright. Let's... 6 years ago, a journey? Author. We said goodbye to our dear home. See you on the other side. I guess we're not going to use that picture. Okay. Since I started the journey from my hometown, Prava, to the borders of the nation, together with my brother, Ilya, who is the only family that I have left, I decided to seek a new life elsewhere. We have lost everything, our workplace, our homes, and many of our friends. I even lost my ability to walk. Reason enough to hate the nation. Because the nation was fighting Prava. This genuinely surprised me. How did that happen? I mean, how did that happen? Looks like you get your chance to investigate a medical profile, even if it's not your own, like in the aptitude test. Screw yourself, lady. I mean, boss. I got about like an hour and 10 minutes before the article that he was talking about gets released. Will life really be better in the nation? We will not know, especially since the most important nation news called outlet recently published article suggesting refugees most likely terrorists. Once again, very similar to the life that we current news events. All we can currently do, and apparently that's not something I can actually like. Waves of refugees likely to cause rise in terrorism, because that's not touching close at home at all. Recent reports published, the number of refugees, just numbers and bullshit. Increased regulated costs, increased border patrol, refugee camps popping all over the place, and but the conditions of the refugee camps are inhumane, while the government says that they're perfectly safe and there's plenty of space for everybody. Stop your bitching. Okay, what else is there? What else is there? What's this? Criminals are degenerates who wear stripes, clothing, monsters who make women and children cry. They are predominantly males, usually foreign, and present a danger to the public. Thus, they must be isolated or locked away, or so goes the cliche that there has been hammered into the public consciousness of the nation. Ruben, what the hell? Presents new crime statistics in a way favoring her politics, but who are the real criminals? That's one of his drafts. And nothing else new. Wait a minute. Isn't that his brother? It is. Why did I not notice that before? Oh god, I'm horrible at this. Same last name. I completely oversaw that. You guys probably saw it, and I completely just missed out on that. Alright, so his brother and him work on the same blog service, so there's that. Medical records. There's that. And now we have your date of birth. He lives in one of the refugee camps. Has no insurance. Just something to say out loud. I doubt that somehow. Well, I don't think he's going to stay there if he's being charged with potential kidnapping and murder. Described by the patient was pain, stinging in the lower back area, as well as tingling and occasional complete loss of sensation in the legs. The patient reacts extremely aggressively upon questioning about his condition. Is very reluctant regarding the exact description of events that lead to his injuries. Patient is accompanied by his brother. Sorry, I was getting a phone call. Offered a more detailed description saying that Ruben had been injured by concrete blocks for at least 24 hours following the bombing of a school building in his hometown of Perwa, which is the school. The school got bombed and he was trapped underneath concrete blocks for at least 24 hours. There's no reaction to any sensation of touch, heat, or cold whatsoever. An examination of the lungs also show difficulty breathing and frequent coughing. The patient is not able to walk on his own, is currently being supported by his younger brother. I'm guessing this was done at the refugee camp. And he survived this, obviously. It's not saying where the examination took place, but resulted in trauma to the spinal cord and ultimately in paralysis of the lower limbs. Respiratory infection due to weak chest and abdominal muscles also suspected. Incapable of him moving independently, a request to Bonton Reception Camp Administration for financing for a MWC manual wheelchair for the patient has been filed. In addition, the patient is prescribed hydrocodone for reduction of nerve pain to be taken by mouth every 12 hours. More medical terms that I suck at reading. But he was in a wheelchair, so technically he's in a wheelchair. Don't worry guys, I'm almost done with this session. I've been playing this for a little bit longer than I thought I would, but I get really caught up. Unsung hero that you need to know about. Written by his brother. My brother's a hero. This article will prove it to you. He will not be humiliated. He would not. We have not been maintaining this blog for a while. I would now like to renew it by telling a story. The story of an unsung hero you simply need to know about. The story of a person who never gave the credit he deserved, which I will now change. It is the story of my brother Raven, who wrote most of the previous articles for this blog. Raven has told you about our long and troublesome journey from Portuguese to the nation, about how we had to live in a refugee camp for an inhumanely long time under terrible conditions, and about why we had to leave our beloved hometown. You, my dear readers, have in a way been on this journey with us, but he has never told you about the fact that he lost his ability to walk during the terrible events in Portuguese. He has not told you about why he made the sacrifice and what a true hero he really is. Raven is not a man who likes to share his personal stories, but I have decided that it is time, especially if you are a reader from our home country, Portuguese, and ought to know this about my brother. The incident that finally forced us to leave Portuguese was tragic, especially in the eyes of my brother. Parva's Secondary, the school that Raven was teaching at, and had in fact helped to build with his own two hands, was bombed to the ground. A place of learning, a place of safety, a place that Ruben had always offered the Portuguese children the opportunity of a good education, was nothing more than smoldering rubble. During the bombing, most of the children from Ruben's 6th grade class had been trapped in the school garden shed, as they had not been able to make it to the safety of the library, which they had been using as a bomb shelter. Against what everyone told him to do, Raven ran out to the shed and saved these children from certain death in this hell's attack. Boss is not gonna like hearing about this. Saving others while risking his own life, now I see why his followers treat him almost like a religious figure. Well, Agent, I think this become clear already that Raven is only a shadow of his former self. His actions today are what matters. I got 20 minutes, which means I have about 2 more pieces of information to deposit before the article comes out. No, wait, this is the article, isn't it? Huh. Where was I? Yeah, he ran in to save the kids. The shadow was destroyed only minutes later, but Reuben himself, he had not made it safely back before the bombs dropped. He was buried under rubble for almost a day, clinging to his bare life until we finally discovered him. But he had paid a high price, his ability to walk. I cannot tell you how much I admire my brother for so much bravery. Although I know that he would never have permitted me to write this article, I have decided that you, dear readers, simply need to know about this. Well, then. Reactions to Unsung Hero. Wow, just wow. I only did what I had to. Or that's Ruben writing as the people's voice. Or maybe he's Ilya. Should pay for this. It was them who were responsible for the horrific attacks. So it was a terrorist group, the FTP, that bombed the place. So it was a war between the FTP and Perva. So what does the nation have to do with any of that? The explosion, which was initiated by the PFT, caused the school principal to be buried under the... What is that conflict? That seems to be pretty accurate to what... And this is the actual national news, too. National Beholder was injured on that day. What else requires dates? The school dates. I don't know where that's gonna lead me, but I'm going there now. Just take a look at it. I'm gonna have to go relatively soon. Records of attendance. Names I cannot pronounce. She was there. Oleg, his daughter, she was there. Was present the day her school was bombed. Wait, then what is that conflicting? That's conflicting something else then. And also, I couldn't even begin to look for it. Okay, let me go back to the Unsung Hero thing. Maybe there's more information there. Nope, it was not the FTP. The National Beholder is nothing but a lying, manipulative, brainwashing machine. In reality, it was a military bombardment that wounded me severely. And that's the conflict. Who was responsible for it? I have enough for possibly one more before something happens. It's gonna be an 0 o'clock, and call me paranoid, but something always happens at 0 o'clock. Please do not flood me with compliments. All I want is for my home country to be safe again, and saving those children was the least I can do for the country I lived in. Almost a mile, sure. That seemed kind of snorty. Alright, so the last thing I need to figure out, I'm thinking, is who's responsible for the bombing. And sadly enough, I don't have any way... I'm thinking. Give me a second, I'm thinking. We're thinking. she was 14. 14 when Oleg went to the nation. Right? But she was 11 whenever he went for the army, right? When she was 11, it was 2003, if I remember the article correctly, right? And I think I'm working it out, so it was. Where would I find that? When did they have that argument? Here. Hold on. Nicholas. Words. What's up? I'm multitasking. Oh, what's happening Friday? Where's the ship to? How far is it then? What time? Like early morning, afternoon? Okay, there goes a better answer. I should be free. I'll make myself free. How about that one? I don't have anything planned. I don't think so, but I need to look at the calendar. Is that the Corey place? Okay. Oh, been there. Vaguely. Not enough to, like, you know, be a tour guide, but yeah. Oh 03. Oh 03. Oh 03, oh 06. Oh 03, oh 06. Oh 03, oh 06. What's happening tomorrow morning? Well, you don't need me for that. You don't need to go down to Magnum for that. Which means 14. You never go to those. I have reason to believe that he was involved in an attack on my high school back in. I'm not supposed to put this bit of. I never he was one of the people that in charge. He was in charge. Well, if you're quitting, then there's no point in going. I love you. Whenever you decide whether it's a yes or no, we'll decide whether we go or not. It's an all-day thing again tomorrow. I have been to State College with you multiple times. I know what it means. Like a 5-minute thing ends up being like a 5-hour thing. Is food almost ready? Food almost done? Or is it fending for yourself? Daughter attend that day. Yeah, I'll be down in a little bit. Love you, bye. So he didn't let his daughter attend that day. I was trying to listen and read at the same time. I know that he was one of the people in charge during the school attack, knowing that what would happen. He did not let his daughter attend that day. But that doesn't make any sense considering that he should have already been in the military and didn't have a say-so whether his daughter attended that day per se or not. I have reason to believe that he was involved in this heart attack on my school. And why would he do that knowing that I was a school? Oh. But at the same time, why would he... okay, why would he do this if it wasn't true? If he didn't have some kind of reason to believe that this is true. Crap. That goes to 10 minutes. If you really believe that, this would be a strong motive. I can't work solely on what Robin believes, though. We need to clarify whether there were any hints of being involved in this. And that's the school thing, right? Continues to get faked. The people's voice. Okay. Absent the day her school was attacked, but it says she was there. It says she was there. Raven says she wasn't there. The school record says she was there. If she was there and she was hurt, that would give even more reason for Raven to be mad. So that's why I find it hard to believe that he's lying. But the school record says she was there, but maybe they were mistaken. Maybe they... Crap, this is important whether or not I add this as part of the profile. Because if she was actually there, then I don't see her father, Oleg, actually being responsible for the bombing. She wasn't there. I still don't see him being responsible because Raven was still there. And that's a friend that was watching over his daughter. It all seems fishy. It doesn't make any GD sense, as Austin would say. Oh, that's cute and adorable. I seen that picture before, but obviously she wasn't wearing the stripes. Wait a minute, this was the draft? Criminals are Germans who wear striped clothing, monsters. Someone hacked into the yeah, this is the thing that Raven was working on, the draft. Of course, it is in the best interest of the media and the government to push this myth. Headlines sell papers. National National Secretary of Security Catherine de la Croix was certainly giving out quite the headline. Probably she presents her statistics that these so-called criminals have been kept under control by her successful politics, but take a close look at these policies. One cannot refrain from wondering who may be the real criminal after all. She is the secret area of security. This background information, not really actually useful there. And that is the last piece of information. That really is the last piece of information, right? Jesus Christ. Yes, I'll be down. The dates are important. The dates are important. I just need to figure out what. I need to figure out what. 2010, right? 2010. Was he in service? 2010? 2006? Yeah, where was he? Wounded in combat. Officially absent from service. I can't make that decision right now. I can't. And I've been turning this in my head for too long. So, for right now, I am going to log out and quit. Thank you guys for watching. It's been a long and exhausting process, and I apologize it wasn't supposed to be this long. And, obviously, constantly being interrupted. It is what it is. I'm going to be thinking about this for a while. Alright, guys. I will catch you later. I'll see you the next level. Later.